where we were taught that miracles are God's way of helping and guiding people. You might have believed that there are big miracles, small miracles, obvious miracles, and some miracles we cannot see. To experience a miracle is to taste the finest part of life. And the best thing to know about miracles is that if you open your eyes just wide enough, you can see them every moment of each and every day. Covered up miracles are the events in our lives that may seem extraordinary coincidences, but are really miracles. Each coincidence, such as, for example, the fellow who missed his scheduled flight due to a traffic jam, and then he met his future wife on the flight they put him on. These types of experiences makes us stop a moment and ask, was that just chance, or could that have been a miracle? Another kind of miracle may be the most important, but are the least popular. These are miracles of nature. Unfortunately, we sometimes take nature for granted because we see it every day. Have you ever awakened at dawn to see the sunrise? It's amazing, isn't it? If it only happened once in a thousand years, you would surely say it's a miracle. But because we see it daily, we take it for granted. We forget just how wondrous it is. The beauty of the sun rising could be considered miraculous. But nowadays, many people don't believe in miracles. They feel that because they don't see the big miracles from God, maybe God is out of the miracle business. So what is a miracle? The definition of a miracle is a surprising and welcome event that is not understood by natural or scientific laws and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine force. And according to spiritualism, a miracle is considered to be a supernatural or supernormal event, a deviation or suspension for some reason from natural law, with subsequent production of a wondrous act. As you know, we just recited the principles, but the one spiritualism principle related to this is we believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence, or God. Spiritualism accepts the fact that the universe is subject to natural law, which is the law of God, or infinite intelligence. And this law has been set in motion to govern all creation. Natural law is unchangeable. Now this is really important. Spiritual says we know of no instance in which source, God or infinite intelligence, has set natural law aside in response to any human appeal or suspended it for any other reason. So spiritualism doesn't really believe in miracles. And they say that a lack of understanding tends to make one think an act is a miracle or supernatural. So just like the sunrise example, thousands of years ago, humans may not have understood why and how the sun rises, and may have considered it to be a miracle. Today we know that sunrise is the moment when the upper rim of the sun appears on our horizon in the morning. As the earth rotates, different locations on earth pass through sun's light. Right now, we're lucky because the sun is shining on the US, and so it's daylight now. But on the other side of the world, in China, it's nighttime, and there's no sunshine. Until the Earth rotates in a few hours, they will have sunrise. Spiritualism goes on to say that perhaps a definition closer to the truth and more understandable might be that miracles or supernatural events which respond to natural law are not yet understood by persons in our time. Perhaps the term miracle is inaccurate. Therefore, sunrise is not a miracle, but because of its beauty 1,000 years ago, people did not understand why that kept happening every morning. And I can see why people back then thought it was a miracle. Speaking of miracles, how many of you have heard of the miraculous healing waters of Lourdes, France? Yes, some of you? Yay, okay, that's all right. So for those of you who are not familiar with this story, I'll tell you a little bit about it. In 1858, a 14-year-old girl named Bernadette was running errands on the outskirts of this rural town, Lourdes, France, when she came upon this grotto. And there she had a vision that she met the Virgin Mary. Interestingly to note that spiritualism started 10 years earlier in 1848. Bernadette visited the grotto a number of times, and the townspeople did not believe that she was seeing the Virgin Mary. One day, this apparition of Mary telepathically gave a message to Bernadette that a spring was going to appear if she started digging into the earth near the grotto. Sure enough, the water appeared, and it turned out that this spring water would have miraculous properties. Then all the people from the town began visiting the water, either bathing in it or drinking in it, and they became healed of various ailments. Today, the spring at Lourdes, France, is the #1 most visited site in Christianity. Millions of people go there every single year, hoping to be healed by the miraculous healing water. And do you know that you can get some authentic water shipped to you directly from the grotto in Lourdes? So what's so special about this water? One researcher took a bottle of this special water and concentrated it using the process of distillation, meaning he boiled the water, which in turn became steam and traveled up some curled tubing. And as it cooled, it turned into liquid water. And it's collected at the other end of the distillation instrument. So after boiling off all the pure water from the Lourdes water sample, there was a small amount of impurities. And he had about a teaspoon left. He took the impurities that were distilled from the water and looked at them under a microscope. He was astounded at what he saw through the microscope. He pulled out control samples, meaning water samples from other places, to compare it with this Lourdes water. He distilled the control samples in the same way. Looking at the control samples under a microscope, he saw little blobs. But the water from Lourdes, France, looked to him like a sky that was full of crosses, like crucifixes and Christian symbols. The researcher was not expecting that. Maybe the crosses are some type of microorganisms, maybe a type of crystallizations or mineralization particulates. Does the water from Lourdes have a natural property that is explainable, that helps to heal people? Or is it the placebo effect? Placebo effect means that if you truly believe something will heal you, it will heal you. For example, drug manufacturers know that when doing clinical trials on new drugs, at least 30% of the people who get the placebo start to feel better and think they got the real medication. The placebo effect occurs when a person truly believes that when taking this pill, it will help them or cure them, even if it's just a sugar pill. Is this a miracle? So what is a miracle? Some scientific studies on the water from Lourdes show that there is nothing remarkable about it. I would say more scientific research needs to be done in this area. So I ask you, do you believe the water from Lourdes, France heals people? Or is it a placebo effect? Do you believe in miracles? Do you believe in natural law? Maybe one day we will get definitive answers to all these questions. Just like we know the earth will turn, the sun will appear to rise tomorrow morning, and we know the science behind that. And we will have the miracle of another day.